Okay. All right, I think we are on. Now let me go back.
Saying it there.
Okay, we are live. All right, there's usually a little bit of a delay on your phone.
Between the two. Okay.
And okay, very good. All right, let's get started. We ready, friend?
Yay!
Yes. So let me kick off. My name is Bernice Jenkins. Hold on one second because I need to close something on my computer. Okay. Now I'm ready. I was getting some feedback. Okay, so as I was saying, my name is Bernice Jenkins, and I am the Director of Financial Literacy for the Southern region of the National Association of Black Accountants, which we call NABA. And we've been focusing over the last few months on our financial literacy campaign. Last month, we talked about how do you build a proper financial foundation. We also had a second session that really discussed, a couple of ways, 4 steps on getting started. Well, we're in October. It's a new month. We're in a new season. We're on the last quarter of the year, and it's time to switch gears. So this month, we will be discussing debt management and credit management. And I couldn't think of a better person to discuss this with than Francesca Ross Jones. Francesca is the author of Making Common Sense of Credit. She's also a business owner. And let me read a little bit about her bio. Francesca Ross Jones knows firsthand the struggles of a single mother with no financial education. She has taught herself financial literacy and earned a degree in psychology and business from Troy University. She is a certified tax professional and a board certified credit consultant, as well as a member of the Credit Consultants Association. She has a financial literacy business and mentors other entrepreneurs on how to achieve success and still have a balanced life. I had to read that because I would have messed that up. I had to read that verbatim because I think that's awesome. Francesca sent this book to me when we started talking about ideas for this particular session back in July. And honey, I got this book, and you probably can't. I have marked it up. The one thing that I really like about her book is that it gets behind the heart of financial literacy for me. It is my goal to make financial concepts relatable and understandable for the common day person to be able to assess their personal situation and make the best decisions for themselves. And her book is a very good book that really does do that. So we will have 2 sessions with her, one on October 6th. Well, she will explain how does the credit scoring system work, how calculate it. It's important to understand that because when you're making certain decisions, you need to know how some of these random decisions that you think don't mean anything really does affect you in the long run. So that's our first session. Our second session on the 13th is just for you. We will bring her back to answer your questions about your credit and your situation. She will talk a little bit about the process for rebuilding your credit if you've made some bad decisions or have a damaged credit in some way. But that session is really about you and answering your questions. But today, what we're going to do is just talk to her about her. Let's get to know her a little bit. So I have a few questions that I will be asking her to share with you all. And as you are on our live stream, if you have, something to say, we will be monitoring that as well. And, maybe if there's a few questions, maybe we will take one or two, but I really want to try to keep this to just 30 minutes since we will be back here again next week on October 6th. So Francesca, the first thing I want to ask you, I know you have your own business, Common Sense Credit, where you do taxes and professional credit counseling. But take us back. We'll talk a little bit about that, but take us back to before Common Sense of Credit. Take us back to the beginning. What were you doing? Where were you working? What did that life look like for you? And how did you eventually end up here? And
Take
a
us
loaded
back.
question. Yeah, take us back. Because what I
Take
really
us
want
back.
you people to see that your backstory is common. I think a lot of times people don't realize what they are able to obtain. And so you got to have stories of common people and their background. And it's my hope that people will be able to identify with your common story and that it will be motivating. So I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, good afternoon, Bernice, Naba, everyone who is joining us this evening. Thank you guys for taking the time to jump on today and um, get on here, get to know me a little bit, me get to know you a little bit better. I'm
Yes.
super excited just about the opportunity to share my story, my background, my path, my plight from there to this space. That those of you who know me have seen me grow from and to this space, and people who you've never met me before, just to kind of share with you. I'm just like every other woman, I think, that has ambition, has drive. Just know she wants something out of life. She may not know exactly what that thing is, but she's passionate. She may be the new high school graduate. She may be the new college graduate. She may be the single mother. I was that single mother, you guys. I am the mother of two. First son born 2 months shy of me turning 17. Second one, 21. Was not married. They do share the same father, but we were not married when I had them. And all of my background as far as work and job and the career or the industry that I was passionate about, just hey, this is what I want to do or more know more about, was definitely banking, was definitely finance. So that's where my foundation came from. Once you transition from being that teenager or that young adult, and you work those jobs, but then when you get into that career side, that
Yeah.
professional side,
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
always had a passion just for people and to
Hmm.
help people. So banking and finance just end up being something that I definitely immediately just flocked to. It just
Okay.
it got my attention. um
Okay.
I knew that when we talk about finances, financial literacy is so important, you guys. And yeah, had the education, all that good stuff. And we talk about knowing what to do with that, or
Right.
what does it
Right.
mean to have
Right.
bills, to have responsibilities, and to know how to move in those spaces. No, I can't say that I knew that right off bat. I knew how to get the things I wanted, right?
Mhm. Right.
So that's where we go from, working in the banking world, being front office, being in the branch, being a
Mhm.
teller, and then graduating from college and just working my way up to migrating to back office, wealth management. So I got to see and experience a lot in the banking world.
Okay.
Loan operations, all that good stuff. I got to experience and had that time to see people go through things like maybe unfortunately having life happen, losing a vehicle, trying to figure out how they can get their vehicle back, maybe having their account overdrawn, um, trying to figure out and navigate life because it happens to all of us, you
Right.
know, and knowing that this is what I do every day and I'm helping people in this and just growing in that, but then having to take a step back and say to myself, hey, this is what you're preaching, you're teaching, you're talking every day. But
Yeah.
I kind of got into some hiccups along the way, some of that um being that single mom and just wanting to be able to we want to give our children everything, even the
Right.
they don't even ask for, as parents. And we just want to be great at being a parent. That's our biggest goal. And so sometimes when we do that, we get lost and we waver as life is happening, and we get sad about this, or, something doesn't go our way right then. Maybe God said delayed, but not denied, but we wouldn't try to hear that in that season.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what we do is we go to those credit cards, we go to
I've
that
done that.
debit card.
Mhm.
Yes, and we just get, I mean, things got totally they totally got left for me as life started to happen. My youngest son, he ended up having a form of epilepsy that he actually outgrew.
Oh,
But
that's
during that time, when we found out was during that kindergarten, first grade years. And
mhm.
that was very stressful, being a single mother, trying to work, got a sick baby, got another baby at home. And so everything just started to spiral in my life at that point. And it took me a while, because at first I was just so upset, so sad about everything going on, feeling like I have no control over anything. I should just give up all of this ambition, everything that I thought, this is how life is supposed to be, this is how life is going to be. And when you just start losing control, I think my first mistake was um, I kind of backed back from having that relationship with my money or with my finances.
Mhm.
And in life, when we don't decide to take the time to do that, then life will force us to do it. And you don't want to be on that side. You definitely want to be on the
Right.
side of controlling that. So
Absolutely.
getting into that space. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was my children getting older and me just realizing they're looking at me. You help people every day. Then my position was being displaced at the bank. So that particular bank that I was with was going through a lot. They end up going through a lot more after my particular department was phased out. But that situation presented an opportunity for me to take the money that I had, as far as severance and retirement and all that, and do something for me. So at that point, I decided, I want to go out and I want to start doing some independent consulting, with operational, working with businesses. And then once I started doing that, I started having a little bit more time, and I started really looking at, you have made a mess of your credit, and it's certain things you want to do, honey. When you go from being able to get what you want to not being able to get anything,
Mhm.
or to them try to tack them high interest rates on to
Right.
you, then
Right.
you kind of decide it's time to start working on some stuff. So
Right.
um, that's what I decided. Did it happen overnight for me? No. But I can say that when I sit here, I can encourage other women to not stop, not give up on yourself. You can still be amazing. You can still thrive in whatever it is you've set out to do in life, even if that changes, because sometimes we have to be resilient when we going through life. We got to learn how to be resilient, and we got to be able to go with whatever whatever opportunity or whatever disadvantage is presented to us, at that time. So I just decided this wasn't what I was going to do anymore. I was going to get my credit where I wanted it to be, and I was
Mhm.
going to do this. So I started doing research. I started reading the laws. Tell people that as well. That's very important to me. Everything I do in my business and to help the consumer, I want to help you. I don't want to hurt you. So we definitely gonna look at it from what's gonna make you better, but you
Yeah.
not have to revisit that. And I think the educational piece is a big part of that. So kudos to you guys for this financial literacy.
Yeah.
That whole aspect is so important. But just me taking the time to say to myself, what legacy do you want to leave for your children? What do you want your children to know? How do you want them to move as they're now 20 and 24-year olds? So, how do I want them to move in this season? Which is amazing because I actually got it right eventually. And so the blueprint they're following it to a T, girl. It's
Right.
amazing. It's
That's
really a
awesome.
blessing. But they understand, they get it,
Yeah.
and we don't. Who at what school do we talk about
Yeah.
financial
So,
education?
right. So you and I have talked extensively about the topic, and we've talked extensively about the fact that nobody told us about money. A lot
No,
of our financial habits are created based on what you see growing up.
right.
You're still getting taught something, even if nobody's verbally teaching you anything. And a lot of
Yes.
things that we have saw, we learned. And so there are some new habits that we need to incorporate if we're trying to change the way we handle money management and building wealth for the generation. So I can
Yes.
see how your own personal journey has created a business concept for you, but the heart behind it is to help people
Yes.
in the way that you figured out how to help for yourself. So tell us a little bit about your business and your credit counseling side, and then, what are some of the common things that you're seeing from your customers that are coming in needing help with their credit?
Okay. Well, my business in general, Common Sense Solutions. When I started deciding on what did I want my brand to look like, or what I want the name to be, Common Sense, and so the sense is CENTS. That's something that I have in common with everybody. Finances, money. Everyone has a desire to live in stability, no matter what's going on in someone's life, what hiccups have come along the road. And I just, I think for me, I am an advocate for financial literacy, for entrepreneurship, whether it is a man, a woman, a young adult, whoever it is, just encouraging them and showing them. I think a lot of times nobody wants to give us the skills, give us the education, give us the pieces of the puzzle that we need, whether it's that we want to take this journey on our own, which that was what I did, when it came to my credit, or if we want to secure services from someone to do that. So, as you mentioned earlier, do help in that aspect as well. One of the common things I see is definitely lack of education. So one thing that's the most important thing to me,
Yeah.
honestly. Everyone who comes into our program or inquires, they're vetted. We actually have it's a free, what I like to call credit discovery call, where we look at your current credit forecast, look at your tri-merge bureau reports, and just kind of see where you are. A lot of times we feel that, like you were just saying, we were raised, pay your bills on time, pay your bills on time, not understanding that there's so much more that goes into what
Yes.
makes up that credit score, what
Yes.
makes up saying that, hey, when we look at you from a financial standpoint, from a credit standpoint, you're either healthy or you're not. And so, one of the things I see is people they feel like if they have um, a couple of accounts, or if they have one account on their credit, then, oh, I got great credit, I don't need anything else. Why is my score still 500? And so people don't understand that when you have no open accounts in your credit profile, that's not good. um 65% of that total credit score comes from our payment history as
Mhm.
well as our utilization. So when I say utilization, how am I using the credit that's been extended to me? So let's say, for instance, you're a person who you've never applied for a credit card, you don't have any type of revolving credit out there.
Mhm.
How is a lender, a creditor raging your credit worthiness, the risk associated with lending you money, and a lot of
Right.
times people don't understand. That's why they tell you, oh, you need a cosigner, oh, you need to do this, oh, you're, especially when people are purchasing homes, they get
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Or,
Yeah.
we get out here with these credit cards, and I
Oh,
tell
yeah.
people utilization 65%. So when you think about that, that's hundreds of
65%.
points that you're leaving on the
Mhm.
table. If you have a credit limit of $5,000 and your balance is $4,000, you're like at 90% utilization. I promise you, it is greatly impacting your credit score. I
Right.
see that a lot, a lot. I
Okay.
see a lot of student loan issues. I see that a lot, and was excited when I started seeing that last year. I went ahead and took the steps so that we could get certified and offer some student loan services to people because they don't
Wonderful.
understand. Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
understand, how that works. Maybe I start school isn't really for me, but I took these loans out. So they're sitting there, and if I don't give them the attention that's required, oh girl, 1 30-day late can shoot your score 100 plus points.
Wow.
That can be dramatic. It can be hard to recover from. And I see that. I see people not have the right mix of credit. They may have one credit card with a $200 limit. They have no installment loan, so no type of vehicle, maybe a mortgage. They don't have anything. If they're trying to get a mortgage, what are we waging? How do we know you can afford this house? How do we know you're going to most likely be able to stay in this house? So it's not just about the credit score. It's about, it's a lot of things that go into the whole home purchase. And I'm excited, because we're going to talk about that. So
Right.
everybody better be joining us on these sessions in the next couple of
Yes.
weeks. But
Yes.
the things that people just don't talk about, and people get hung up a lot in the whole inquiry side too. And shopping for credit, just always shopping for credit. If your credit is not, I say challenge. So I like to say challenged and champion credit. I don't like to use bad. I don't. That's a
Okay.
word I try to stray away from. So
Okay.
if you are in some challenging situations, you have to look at the reasons why. And what can you do to improve that? And it's not always just cut and dry. Oh, let me just sit here and wait for this to fall off. Oh, I know my credit score says it's only 500, but I'm going to go to the car lot across the street. And when they don't approve me, I'm going to go to the one down the street from them. When they don't approve me, I'm going to go across the street. And, not realizing that, hey, you're shopping for credit, but they're all seeing the same thing. They see that you really are not ready because you're shopping. When you're
Yeah.
ready, you don't have to shop, guys. You just go in there, or you can go to the bank and you just go to the lot and you say, hey, I need that buyer's order. And you go get that check and you take
Right.
that bad boy back and it's
Right.
in and out. You ain't
Right.
doing that sitting at the car lot all day stuff. So,
Yes. And see,
yeah.
this is, this is where I want to get people to eventually aspire to get to.
Yes.
Because what you're describing is empowerment.
Yes.
And you can't be empowered if you don't know how the game works,
Right.
being played, how the formula works. And a lot of times I've seen just in my circle of influence, growing up, family and friends,
Mm-hmm.
that we don't understand it or even try to take the time to understand it until we want a house,
Yes.
on a car.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's it.
But by that time, it's too late. Like you've had 5 to 6, 10, 15 years of not really understanding how your decisions are affecting your ability to be empowered
Yes.
on a car lot and get what you want, or to be
Yes.
empowered to say, this is the kind of house I want to get. Let me go out here and obtain this loan, and it's no sweat about it.
Right.
So
Right. And with no money down, with make sure you plug that. No money down. Hey, keep that money in savings that you have in savings. I think I don't know why the misconception is in order for you to get what you want, you have to give them something first. No, you don't. I promise you. Let me tell you guys, everybody who is sitting here on this chat today, I
yeah.
have been, like I say, the person who has been able to get every credit card she wants,
Mhm.
do what she want to do, have
Mhm.
them charged off, all kinds of stuff. I've
Uh-huh.
had a car repossessed. I've had
Okay.
a
Oh,
house
tell us about it.
foreclosed.
Come on,
I've
tell us
done all. I've done all that. All
Okay.
that. So I promise you, I'm sitting here. I'm going to be that person who's transparent. Like, I have
Right.
no problem with being transparent, with sharing with you my journey, my
Yes.
life, because guess what? Then you know that we have something in common. It's nothing to be ashamed about that life happened to you. It happens to all of us. Y'all, it happened to me. It's just that now I know better. I have the education, so I'm wiser. So I know how to move around a little bit different so that when I
Yes.
see things come up or when life happens, maybe I'm a little bit more prepared than
Right.
before. So, that's
Right. Right, right. And so we're almost to our 30-minute mark. So we're right on target. Um, but this is just echoing after my heart. I mean, the when we talk about financial literacy, at the end of the day, it's about being prepared, being educated enough where you are empowered to be in the best position to get what you want.
yes.
Problem is we try to go too fast,
Mhm.
getting what we want too soon without proper preparation. So on October 6th, guys, you gotta come and check out Francesca. She and I have been working very hard on making sure that we can take all these pages of this book and fit it in a 60-minute session.
Yes.
I think we have it down. And she will break down every component of your credit score. What does that mean?
Yes.
And what does it mean for you in terms of how you need to change your behavior to
Yes.
prepare for what you want? And I can't think of a better person who's gone through rebuilding personally to walk us through this journey. And we do appreciate you, Francesca, and your partnership with us and just helping us get the message out. I can't think of a better person to do it. So
Thank you so much, Bernice. I'm excited. And being that today is the first day of the last quarter of
yes,
2020, I
abs-
just encourage everybody, start this week. I encourage you every week. You just said, you you hit it on the head when you said you're not empowered, that people are not empowered. You have to
mhm.
empower yourself. Why not once a week do a check-in? So do a financial check-in with yourself. Go over your goals. Look at your budget. And yes, y'all, everybody needs a budget. I got a budget.
I got a
My
budget.
my 20 and 24-year-old have a budget.
Mhm.
My husband don't care nothing about a budget, but guess what? We got a budget. Everybody needs a budget. So we're gonna have a budget. He's not feeling that part, but we're gonna have a budget. So it's very important. And one other thing I wanted to say to everybody this evening, I know we're getting to our time limit, but was, when life happens, because it happens to all of us, and it's been such a just difficult, a different time for all of us these last few months,
Yeah.
where you are feeling some type of way, financially, emotionally, spiritually, because a lot is going on. Just so much is going on in the world right now.
Mhm.
And it can affect your mental health. It can affect the way you're feeling, the way you're thinking. So what I challenge you guys to do, something that I do, because people always ask me, well, how are you disciplined now? How do you do this? How do you do that? So instead of having those moments where you just go and you splurge and you spend money, I want everybody, we're moving into the weekend. Over the course of this weekend, I want you to write down a list of maybe 10 things that bring you pleasure and joy and happiness that are either free or they're less than $25. Okay. And so when you start feeling some type of way and you just want to swipe a credit card, you want to go to the mall because you just feel like it's going to make you feel better. I promise you guys, it's only going to be in that moment. Like the next week, you're going to be like, why did I spend this money when that statement comes in the mail? So, you know, I want you to not punish yourself, because a lot of people say, well, just don't spend any money. No, I'm not going to tell you that. But what I'm going to say is spend little amounts of money and then maybe every quarter reward yourself because you're not spending crazy money doing the things that you used to do. So rewarding yourself might be, instead of buying that nice handbag, right? Instead of charging that, maybe putting aside 25 or $50 every pay period. So once you save that $300 or that $400 or whatever, that, I'm not really a purse person, so I don't know. But once you save that, then
Yeah.
you go reward yourself. You know, you save that over it will mean so much more to you. I promise you. Because sometimes you feel like you want something right in that moment. That immediate gratification, we've got to
Yeah.
get out of that.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to just tell yourself, I can wait. And if you can wait those 3 months, you guys, and then you still want that thing, you deserve that thing. So
Right.
I had to say
Okay.
that.
Well, you and I piggyback off each other so much. And so when you were talking about how important a budget is, and people like to look at it like it's some type of restrictive tool.
Right.
But I like to tell people that money is like a wild animal.
It
You
is.
look up and it slip through your fingers and you don't have no idea where it went. You
Yes.
absolutely have to have a budget so that you can direct your funds to do the things that's going to help you in the long run.
Right.
And you have to budget based on your lifestyle.
Right.
So that, the things that you absolutely can't live without, just throw it in the budget. It might be at the expense of something else. You just have to figure out how to prioritize it in a way
Yes.
where you can live with it. It's almost like losing weight.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You do good for a little bit and you can fall off, but this is a lifestyle commitment here.
Definitely. Definitely.
Over time, you will be so appreciative and will have the benefits for it as well.
Yes.
And
And
money,
it's a good feeling. It's a good
yes,
tell them it's a good feeling.
money,
It's
yes,
difficult to shift your mindset. It's
it is.
difficult to stay the course. Trust me, you
Yeah,
guys. I'm telling y'all,
it's so
when
worth
you come to
it.
me and I talk to people and they tell me their story, and I'm just passionate about what I do because it's my passion. Like, I would do it if I made no money, and I do that a lot of times. I'll meet people and it's just not their thing, but they need my help. And so I'm going to help them. So you will be so happy. It frees you when you're not stressed and
Mhm,
worried about
mhm.
making sure, like you just stated, that the needs are met. And then, oh, well, what's over here to take care of those wants? So if it's
Yeah,
something that you absolutely cannot do without, I agree with you. Put it in the budget. Put
put
it
it
in
in
the
the budget.
budget. And then it's not even a conversation.
Right.
Put it in the budget. It's already there. It's already in there. But just don't have too many things that you're putting over there that you could do
You
without.
can save. Right.
Right,
Right.
right,
Because
right.
savings is in the budget too. So we're at our time and I'm going to be respectful of that. But Francesca, can you tell people how they can get your book?
Yes. So making common sense of credit, guys, you can get this book online at so many retailers. Of course, Amazon, Walmart, Target, Books A Million, Barnes and Noble. There's just so many. It's everywhere. It's the ebook. It's a paperback. If you're local to the Montgomery, Wetumpka, the Tri-County area of Alabama, you can reach out to me. We can get it to you pretty quick, that same day. And then we also have people who they want an autographed copy of my book. So, I definitely do that and ship as well. But
Okay.
it really I wanted to write the book. It was important to me just for the younger people. That was the first thing, because I have young
Yeah.
adults. So
Yeah.
every young adult that I meet, when my children bring somebody home, they
Oh,
get a
that's so
copy of
important.
my book, and
Yes.
we talk
Yes.
just about life, because
Yeah.
nobody's talking to young people about life, and they're so smart. They have so much knowledge that they can embed in you. So I learned so much from them, just
Mm-hmm.
about how they're moving, what they think about money, what all this looks like for them. So,
Right.
start having those conversations with these
Yes.
babies because they are our tomorrow. So that
That's
was
true.
my goal behind writing the book, as well as those people who want to take the journey by themselves, giving them the tools, giving them the understanding of what their credit is, how to manage their credit, how to restore their credit if they've had those hiccups, throwing some letters in there that would definitely help them to do the things they need to do. And we've had a number of success stories of people who have taken that book and they have turned their whole situation around. When I tell you, they improved their credit themselves with that book. And so that's a blessing. That was the goal. And so it's helping a lot of people. And I mean, that's what it's about, helping people to
Right.
overcome whatever that thing is that's holding them back
Hmm.
from moving forward into their greater, because we all deserve whatever it is we want in life, and you can
Right.
have it,
You
and you
can
can
have
have
it.
it at a good price.
Right. Right. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap us up.
Okay.
Forward to continuing this conversation with you on October 6th when we break down that credit score calculation um, in a way that people will understand. And we will also leave some time for questions. So
Right.
make sure you guys register for the session. If you register for the session, you'll get a link in your email. It'll go to your calendar as a reminder. Then you'll have the opportunity to type in your questions as we go along, and we'll be able to answer them live. But I'm also taking questions ahead of time.
Yes.
You guys feel free to email me directly. The email address is finedu at nabasouthern.org, or you can find that email address on our blog, www.nabafinancialliteracy.com. Or follow us on social media pages and our platforms, but we are taking questions now so that as we prepare for our sessions, we can start incorporating some of those answers as we go through the
Yes.
presentation. So this is
Yes.
time for you to help you. So thank you, and thanks everyone. And I think that is a wrap. Francesca, where you go, girl? She had a busy woman.
Yes. But I enjoyed everybody. I enjoyed everybody. And I'm excited and looking forward to seeing everybody on the next Tuesday and the following Tuesday for
And
our sessions. And please, please, please send your questions in so that we can get them answered for you. And let's get you moving in the direction you want to be moving in this last quarter, moving into 2021. See a lot of new homeowners and just a lot of people doing some things they want to do.
yeah, awesome. All right, well, we will sign off. Thank you guys so much. And we will see you back here on October 6th.